Hello world, Ife Codes here. Welcome to the second part of this video or of this series. Here we are going to continue with the project. So as I said, we are going to animate the tires. We are also going to put the road or the ground and animate it also. But before then, we have to make some corrections. For example, as you can see, there are no shadows, but we talked about shadows, okay? So we are going to correct that right now. But then let me demonstrate what I mean. So if you go to the controls, tab, you will see this env map intensity with value of 2.5. Now as you see, if I click, the shadow appears. Okay. So the problem is that let me just demonstrate it once more. You see this place where it is written Richard Milley. So as you can see, there is no shadow. But once I click the env map intensity tab or this section, I click it, you see the shadow appears or the shadows appear. So it is not normal. So we have to correct that right now. So just go to the code, you go to the models part. Here the gltf loader.loads section. So under the scene.add, simply copy this update all materials, then paste it down here. So then of course it's a function. Now let me save. Let's see what we have. Go straight to the browser. Okay, you see it is now there. We no longer need to click here. All right, but as you can see, the env map intensity, that's the environment map intensity, is not affecting, is not doing anything. So we'll have to change that immediately. We'll have to correct that right now. So let's go on. So first of all, the problem is in the update all materials function. So we have to go to where we define that function, okay? Update all materials. So here is where the problem lies. So there are other things we have to call, or there are other lines of code we have to put in there. So let's just put them immediately. The first one being child dot material.envmap is environment map. All right. So this one wouldn't, it doesn't really, the effect will not be seen right away. So let me demonstrate. As you can see, there is nothing. It doesn't do anything. Okay. It is the second one now that we will see changes. Okay. Let's continue. Let me do it. Let me paste it immediately. So it says child.material.envmap intensity is debug object.envmap intensity. So the debug object is the debug object is here. All right, so this is the debug object. So whatever value we choose here will affect the environment map intensity. Okay, so let's save. Now let's demonstrate. Let's see what we have. Allow it to load. All right, as you can see, it has already even changed. The shadow is no longer as intense as it used to be. So as you can see, now it is working correctly as it should. Okay, but the problem now is that our car is like floating on the air, and that is not what we want. So we have to give it a ground for it to stand on or lie down on. Okay, I don't yeah, stand on. So let's do that immediately. So here we go straight to the models part. Okay, now under it, let's put plane. Okay, so the plane or the ground. Okay, let me call it ground. So here is where we are going to create a plane. Okay, so let's do that right now. So say const plane geometry is new 3 dots plane geometry. So the new plane geometry is a method. Okay, so we are going to supply the two parameters. All right, so the two parameters being width and height. Well, unfortunately, we have not. No, well, not really unfortunately, but we haven't. Because when we do that, when we do this now to the JavaScript, will ask us where, or I mean, it will not know where these are coming from. So we have to first of all define them. All right. So let's call them plain, or should I say ground dimensions, not dimension. So here is what we have. So the first one being the width, and the second one is the height. So this is the plane width, and this is the plane height. Okay. Now we have done this. We now have to create the material. All right. So to do that, we say const material will be new 3 make standard material, which is also a method. All right. So inside this method, we have to supply them as an object. So give it a what's it called? A parenthesis. All right. So let's continue and to supply. Anyway, the things we are going to supply are like, the parameters will be like colors, whether we want it to be I mean transparency, double-sided, and anyway we'll get to that later. But first of all, let's do that of color. So we'll say color will be new 3 dots color. All right. So what color are we giving it? We are giving it RGBA 66 and 69. And anyway, I don't want to elaborate, but we are going to give it this bluish color. All right. So the next thing we are going to do now is to create the plane itself, because right now we haven't created the ground or the plane. I keep on interchanging the two. Okay. So to do that, we'll say const plane or const ground, anyone you want to call it. But anyway, just follow what we are doing. Const plane is new mesh, new 3 dots mesh. So this method also requires 2 parameters. So here is the ground itself. So we have already created what we need the ground to be or look like. So the first one being the plane geometry. So plane geometry. Then the second one being material. Of course, you should know that. Okay. Now we have created this. We are not going to get anything until we say scene dot add. Then what are we adding? We are adding the plane. Okay. Now let me test it and see what we have. All right. You see, it is there. It is there, but it doesn't look much like a plane because it's vertically positioned. Okay. So what we have to do now is to rotate this plane here, then position it on at the bottom of the screen so that it will look at least like a floor. All right. So let's get to it right away. So to do that, we go over here. We say plane.rotation.x is minus math slash divided by 2. So math.pi, sorry, pi 22/7 divided by 2. So this is kind of saying we are going to rotate it by 90 degrees. So let me save and see what we have. All right, you see, it now looks more like a horizon or a ground. All right. So, but it is above, sorry, it is above the model. So the next thing we have to do now is to do the positioning. Okay, let's do it immediately. So we have here plane.position.y. Remember, the rotation was done on the x-axis and the positioning is done on the y-axis. The x-axis goes from left to right, while the y-axis goes from top to bottom. So I hope you haven't forgotten. So now let's save, go straight to the browser and see what we have. As you can see, so it's still at the same place. Why? Because over here I put 0, so it's still at the same place. Now, for us to do it properly, we we cannot be kind of, as I said earlier in the last video, we cannot be typing the values here, then going to the browser, going over to the browser to check what it looks like. That would be very wrong. It will take too much of our time. So what are we going to do? We are simply going to use the GUI here, these controls, to do it. So let's do it right now. So here it is. We have GUI.add. Then what are we adding? We are going to add the plane dot position. Okay, because that is what we are working with. On what axis is the y axis? Then this is the minimum. This is the maximum. Then the step is 0.01. Then the name of what we are, what we are trying to work with. Yeah, the name of the what's that called? The control. Okay. So let me save it. Then I go straight to the browser. All right, as you can see, it's already here. Where is it? Okay, plane position Y. Okay, on the Y axis. Remember, as you can see, it's 0 here, just as we gave in the text editor. So now let me see, as I'm adjusting it, it's going down. All right, but as you can see, I cannot really position it correctly because oh yeah, -5 is too small. So I think what I have to do now, let me think. Okay, what I have to do now is to go straight to the here, this line, this is not a line 89 on my text editor. Then let me lower this thing a little bit more. So let me say 20 -20. So I save, go straight to the browser. So let's see. All right, it has given us more space. So let me go take it down a little bit. Okay. Okay, you see, that's even the shadow up there, down there. So I don't know why it is half here. I don't know if it is the model, but there is another way of doing this shadow. We can always do that in another video, but that is beyond the scope of this video. So as you can see now, it is really I don't really like how this car looks. It's kind of looks too wide. I can't really explain how it's looking like. As if you are zooming it from very, very far away. Okay, so the problem now is what is called the focal point of the camera. Okay, so we have to go to the text editor and change it. Okay, let me get the camera. All right, here it is. Said here is the camera. So it's as you can see here, it says 70, where you see get this number of 75. So this is the focal point. Okay, so we'll have to change it to 25. Now let me save. Okay, we'll go straight to the browser, allow it to load. All right, now let me take this thing down. Plane position. As you can see, let me try it again, please. All right, it has loaded. Where is it again? All right, here is the car. As you can see, it is as if now we are now close to the car. Okay, we're no longer that far away, and we are trying to zoom the camera. So now it looks a lot better. So like this now, we will be able to position the car correctly. Okay, don't worry as it is like disappearing. Those ones also because of the settings, but it's really beyond the scope of this video for now. But we'll handle that later. Okay, so with this now we'll be able to really position both our car or our what's it called, our plane or our ground correctly. Okay, so uh we will use I reloaded, of course. We are going to use the plane position Y to now how do I put it, to correctly position both our car and both the model and the ground, of course. But right now we can't see much because the ground is still too high. So let me just take it down a little bit. Okay, let me bring it down a little bit. But right now we cannot see the car, so it is because we have changed the focal point of the camera. So now just What I want you to do now is to do the adjustment yourself. So after adjusting to the point you like, then you just copy it and paste it in the, you copy it from here and paste it in the code in the text editor. All right, so now because I will not, if I start showing you how I arrived to where I got it correct, how I wanted, it's going to take too much time, too much of our time. So let me just, let me just give you the numbers that I used in my own project. Okay, we shouldn't forget also about we shouldn't forget about the camera, because we are going to adjust the position of the camera. We're going to also adjust the position of the car and the position of the ground. So let's start immediately. So as for the plane, I put, as you can see, plane.position.y, that is on the y-axis. I put minus 3.693. So let me save immediately, then go to the browser and see what we have over there. All right. So we are still not seeing the car because of the camera. Okay. So what we have to do now is to kind of try to raise this car, the model a little bit up. Then the camera also, so that we will not, whenever we refresh, then we have to, what I'm doing now is using my mouse to, how do I put it, to zoom in and out, using my mouse wheel. That was the word I was looking for. This is mouse wheel up and this is mouse wheel down. Okay, sorry, I forgot to show how these things are done, please. So this is mouse wheel up, this is mouse wheel down. So let's go straight to that of, okay, let me handle the model first. So in the model, we'll go to the model section. You see where it says gltf.scene.position.set. So we have 0 minus 4 on the y-axis and 0 on the z-axis. So this is at the center of the screen. So we have to adjust that, or we have to change these numbers, especially this one. Okay, so let's do that right away. So on the y-axis, we replace what was, okay, minus 4. We now replace it with minus 2.5, sorry, minus 2.053. So let's save immediately. Head over to the browser. Let's see what is going on there. All right. So this is what we have now. Okay. So the next thing we are going to do now is to adjust the camera. Okay. We have to adjust the camera so that it will, it will be nice. Okay. So let's move straight to the camera now. So on the camera, I will change this whole all of the numbers. So the X position is 4, Y position is 1, then the Z position is 40.68. So let's see what we have. I don't know if it will work here, but even if it doesn't work here, we can still adjust it. It is very easy to do. So let me save, head over straight to the browser. All right, you see, perfect. This is exactly what we are looking for. Okay, now the next thing we are going to do is rotate this model to whatever position you wish. Okay, this is whatever rotation you wish, you want it to be pointing to whatever direction you wish. That is entirely up to you. Okay, so but how do I put it, to keep up with the project, with what I have already done. So I will adjust this this rotation. So in order to do that, we go straight to the model once again. So this whole thing is about going back and forth. Okay, so don't be how do I put it, don't be tired. Imagine you are trying to set up a scene, so you have to go, the actors, the director, and because you are the director in this movie, so you have to go all front and back, to make sure things are well adjusted for the pleasure of the viewers, okay, or the spectators, so they don't come there and feel underwhelmed and they go, they leave bad reviews. So let's go straight. Let's head over straight to the model. Okay. Okay. Of course, you know what we are going to do here. We are simply going to use this, for example, this GUI.add. Okay, so let me just copy this one, copy it, get over here, then paste it. But we have to change, okay, say gltf.scene, okay, copy this one, then put it over here, then gltf.scene.rotation, not position, because we want to rotate. Rotation. So gltf.scene.rotation, then we are rotating on the y-axis. Well, let's check. If you don't know with what axis you are going to do it, so all you have to do is simply copy this, then you copy, then you paste you paste twice, then change whatever axis here. For example, this one should be X, then Y, then Z or Z. Then you come over to the name. So this is sorry. Oh wait, let me get back to you, please. In fact, what I want to change is this plane position, because we are not doing the plane. We are not rotating the plane. We are going to we are rotating the model. Okay. So I have changed the first one. So just copy and paste it. Then to the second one, then paste. We have model XY now. Okay. So the third one, of course, then paste. So model should be model rotation should be model Z. So you can, of course, you can add rotation here. You just have to describe it how you want. So I will show you the way, but it is the destination is yours. So let me save immediately. Make sure everything is correct. X, Y, Z. So let me save immediately. Head over to the browser. Make sure everything is okay. Yes, as you can see, model X, model Y. So here is a rotation. So if we rotate the X, so you see how it's turning. This is obviously not what you want. So I refresh. Then the model Y, the Y axis. Okay, so we actually want to rotate the Y axis, not the Z axis. Okay, so let me refresh. Then rotate this one. So this one you can rotate it as much as you want. Okay, choose any direction you want. If it is rotating too fast, all you have to do is simply go to what's it called? The steps here. You lower the steps further. Okay, for example, this one is 001. You can lower it as much as you want. Okay, so now I will give it the rotation that I gave in my own project. So let me do that right away. So all I have to simply do is go to this gltf.scene.rotation.y, then remove all of this, then paste. So okay, 0.032. So let me save, head over straight to the browser. Let's see what we have. All right, so this is what we have. So right now, we are okay now, but we are still not at the end of what we want to do. Okay, so this one, as you can see, if for example I hold my mouse, then I move up. As you can see, the camera is rotating too much. Okay, it's rotating too much. We are now under the car, but we don't want the user to the viewer to go to rotate to this extent. Okay, so we have to kind of cut it off at some point. Okay, so that's what we are going to do next. So in order to do that, we'll go to the controls. Okay, the controls where we are controlling the camera. Okay, where is it again? Yeah, the controls section. So say where it says controls, new orbit controls, camera, canvas. Okay, so what we have to do now, as I said earlier, we are going to limit the vertical rotation. Vertical rotation. So what we'll do now is to say controls dots mean polar mean polar angle. Okay, mean polar angle. So mean polar angle is 1. Okay, What mean polar angle is minimum angle when we are looking down. Okay. Then the next one should be, so Control D. The next one should be max polar angle. So max polar angle will be math dot math dot pi, sorry, dot pi divided by 2. Okay, so maximum angle is kind of horizon level. So this should prevent us from going below. So let me save, go straight to the browser. Let's see what we have over there. Okay, so you see I can no longer go below. Okay, I can't go below anymore. Then even when I try to move up, you see I can't go beyond a certain point. Okay, so we are not yet done with this one. As you can see, I can also pan around. How to do this one is by holding your left click. Okay, then you move it left and right. We also do not want that to happen. Okay, so we go over to the controls section also. Then over here, what we are going to do is to say controls dot enable enable. Oh, very bad at typing. Enable damping. Okay, so we are going to enable damping. Sorry, we are not enabling damping, please. Sorry. Okay, what we have to do is to first of all, not enable damping, please. Enable pan. Okay, to stop panning. So we are going to enable to disable the panning. Okay, so in order to do that, to simply click, give it the value of false. Okay, so enable pan false. Now let me save. Head over there. Let's see what we have. You see, when I right click, I can no longer pan around. All right. So now there are other things. As you can see now, when I when I rotate the camera, it just happens. It just stops abruptly. Well, we don't want that to happen. We want it to kind of have a kind of damping. So this is what I was talking about when I mentioned damping earlier. So we simply go over here. Simply say, how I did it is click here, then Control D. Control D will kind of say it means to call to double or yes, to double this line. Okay, so instead of enable pan, we then put the damping. So the damping will be true because it is false by default. So now let's go over there. We'll save. Okay, you see now when I rotate it, it doesn't stop abruptly. Now looks so much better. Okay, but I can see it's turning too much. Okay, of course you can leave it like this if you want, but for me it is giving too much turning. So what we have to do now is to control how much damping that we will allow. So to do that, Control D, then we say damping factor. So damping factor, of course, it's not going to be true. It's going to be 0.2. You can do as much as you want. That is up to you. So let me go over there, see what we have. All right, you see, it's no longer the stopping is no longer delayed as it used to be. Okay, you can adjust it as much as you want. It's really up to you. Then another thing is this. Now, if I zoom, you see, this is wrong. We don't want this to happen. Okay, so I head over straight to the browser. What we have to do now is to kind of the minimum of the zoom distance, and also I forgot to show you. You see, we also we don't want you don't want we also don't want this. We don't want to go too far away. We also don't want to come too near. That we have completely lost the view of the car. So in order to stop that, we go over to the controls once more. We say controls. Sorry, let me give this one where it's supposed to be. Controls dot max distance. controls.max distance is 40. Okay. Then the mean distance also come over here. Mean distance is 40. So let me save. Head over straight to the browser. Let's see what we have. Now it has appeared. So let me see. You see, I use my mouse wheel. Mouse wheel up, going nowhere. Mouse wheel down, going nowhere. So as you can see, it is now working correctly. All right. So the next thing we are going to do now is to load the texture of the road. As you can see, it just has this blue, sky blue color. That's not what we have in our intro. Okay. So let's do that right away. So we are going to move straight to the where is it? The plane section. Okay. Let me get it. Okay. I've got the ground section. All right. So here, what we have to do now is to load something called we're going to load the texture. Okay, not just load something. We're going to be loading the texture. So where is this texture? The texture is here. You go to the static. Okay. Then you go to the textures. Then you will see the asphalt and metal. So you can load any of them, whether it be the asphalt, be it the metal. Okay. Remember last time we did the environment maps. Okay. So this is where the map for the texture for the road is. All right. So how we are going to do that now is by first of all creating a variable or a constant called const map. Okay, const map. All right, const map is is new new 3. Okay, dot texture. We have, of course, you can see cube texture loader. Okay, but we're not going to do cube texture loader, so we're going to use texture loader. Okay, so let me just click on cube texture loader, but I'm going to remove the cube. These are just simple ways to save time when typing. Okay, so texture loader, which is a method, then dot load. Okay, now we are going to load from the texture that we I showed you earlier. So it comes in in a string, texture slash asphalt. So let's use asphalt. Okay, texture.asphalt.png. All right. So as you can see, it's texture slash front slash asphalt.png. All right. All right. Right now, you are not going to get anything in the browser. So let me first of all save. Okay. So I go over here to the browser. We have nothing. We haven't effected any change, of course. So we still have a few other things to do before we can see the results of our the texture that that we have just loaded. I.e., we have loaded the texture but we are yet to apply it. Okay. So in order to apply it, we have to go to the under the material. Okay, this material constant. Then under it, we say, because we are talking about the material now, so we say material dot alpha map. Material dot alpha map is map. Okay, that is this map here. All right. Then the other one we are going to do. Okay, let's check it first of all and see what we have. So we still have nothing. Okay, let's move on. So the next one we have to do now is to say is to come over here. Okay, Control D. Then material dot alpha map dot mag filter. Dot mag filter is 3 dot nearest filter. I've forgotten exactly what this nearest filter does. I think this nearest filter, kind of, I think it prevents, or it makes it that um, the texture becomes like kind of 8 bits, like the 8 bits, the old graphics, 8-bit graphics. So I think that is what nearest filter does. Of course, you have the internet. You can always check it yourself. Okay. So the other one we are going to do now is to also say material. Let me just copy it and paste it here, please. So uh, Control Z to go back, then enter to give sorry, let's go back again. Enter. Okay, then I paste it here. Material.alphamap.wrapt is a 3 repeat wrapping. Okay, then now let's see if there is any change. I think there's an error. I think I made a mistake somewhere. So let me inspect. Yeah, there's an error. So it says uh, okay, cannot set properties of not setting. Okay, let's check that immediately. I want to say failed to road. Okay, the asphalt. Maybe I made a mistake somewhere here. Okay, let's correct. Let me correct those errors right away. I'll get back to you, please. Okay, this one I've seen the problem. Textures, please. Okay, textures. Let me go back here. Textures, not texture. All right, so textures. Now let me save. Head over to the browser. Okay, that error is gone. So this one now, that's where we are going to, this wrapped. Let's see what the problem is. Yeah, I've seen it. So alpha map. Okay, not capital letters. It was earlier. Okay, it is small letter M. Now I save. Head over to the browser. Let's see what we have. Okay, it's gone. All right. So we still haven't done any. It's still yet to show up. Okay, we still have a few other things to do. Now, I think the next thing we have to do now is to come over here in the material. Sorry, in the where we define the material. So the color. Okay, so this is just the color. Okay, then we also have to put other parameters. So, for example, transparent. Okay, we want it to be transparent. So, sorry, transparent. So we have to make transparent to be true. Then the other one is I mean, do we just want it to be transparent on one side, or we want it to be transparent on both sides? So in order to do that, we simply say side 3 3 dots double double side. Okay, now we have dealt with the transparency. How much transparency do we want? So we'll say alpha test. Alpha test is uh, 0.1. So let's check if it's working now. I save, head over straight to there. Still yes to see anything. Okay, don't worry, we are going to correct it. All right, but something is wrong with this code, because by now this thing is supposed to have appeared. Something is wrong with the code. So let me check. Let me check. Please, excuse me. Oh my God. Oh yeah, I can see where the problem is coming from. The where I made an error here, I made a mistake here is material.alpha map. Okay, this looks as if it is one word. Actually, it is 2 words. Okay, not just one word. So what I have to do now is to select. So how am I doing it? I click on the M, then hold Alt on your keyboard, then click again, then change it to capital M. Okay, please, because I got confused when I was doing yeah, instead of here, if you can how do I put it? Go back a little bit, you will see where I made an error here. Instead of this small letter, I put the capital letter. So it kind of got me also confused about these other ones. Please, I am really, really, really sorry. Okay. So let me save it now. Let's see if this is really the problem. Oh yes. Oh yes. Okay. That was really the problem. Okay. And you see how trickish it is, because when I checked I first of all checked the what's it called, um the console. It generated no error. So it can be really, really, really tricky. So you have to be very, very observant and careful. Okay. But that is part of the job. Okay. All right. So let's continue. So what we are going to do next is to um to animate this texture. Okay. We want the texture to be moving back as if the car is moving forward. Okay. So to do that, we have to go to the tick function. First of all, there is one thing I haven't added. Please, I need to add one more thing. Please, one more thing. Without which we will never be able to do any road texture animation. Okay. So let me just get that code and paste it. I have already wasted too much time. So it says material.alpha map dot repeats dot y. So we're going to repeat it on the y axis. So we give it a value of 1. Okay. First of all, once more, I have to do some sanitization. So let me pause it while I do it. All right. Sorry. All right. Now we have done it, so that I'll use the comment to kind of separate the blocks of code so that it will not be that confusing. All right. So let's continue what we wanted to do. So we have to now go to the tick, to the animate section, to the tick function. So no, not there, please. So first we go up here. We create a function. Sorry, we create a what's it called, a variable or a constant called clock. So say const, because we are going to use the clock to do the animation, kind of to take into consideration the frames per second. So we are going to need the clock function. Okay. So, or the clock method. So this clock method is built in to Three.js. Okay. So we'll say const clock, the clock will be new 3 dot clock. All right. So we are going to use this clock to get what is called get the elapsed time. The elapsed time is simply how much time has passed since the application was started, or the app was started, or it was refreshed. Okay. So in order to get that, we simply inside the tick function, please. Inside this function, we go that we have to move that a little bit. So let me say get elapsed time. All right. So we're going to say const. No. Const is elapsed time. What am I doing here, please? Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Elapsed time. I'm being distracted. There's a party going on beside my, in the neighborhood. So they're kind of making some noise. So excuse me, please. I'm a little bit distracted. So say, because I'm worried about the noise they are making. It's not that I'm worried that I want to go and party with them. No, I don't have time for that. So say clock dot get elapsed time. So I hope I spelled it correctly. Clock dot get elapsed time. All right. So it's actually a function. So now we're going to use the value of this to calculate the animation. Okay. Now we have to, as I said earlier, we did this. Where is it again? here, this material.alphamap.repeats y. So let me just copy it. Let me copy it, okay? We are going to use it, but not exactly what anyway, let me show you. Let me paste it. But here we are not going to use material. We'll say plain. Oh, sorry. Plain dot material, please. Plain dot material dot alpha map dot repeat y, but we're not going to use dot repeat. We're not going to use repeat y. We are going to say offset y. Okay, offset dot y. Then offset dot y will be elapsed time. Elapsed time. Then multiplied by elapsed time multiplied by minus. Now we can okay. Let's use like 0.5. Okay, we can experiment. So let me see what we have. Hopefully there's no problem. I think there's a problem, but don't worry, we'll fix that. We'll fix it. Okay, so inspect. Yeah, there's a problem. So it says syntax error, unexpected identifier clock. All right, clock. Why? Oh yeah. Oh my God. Const clock. Okay. Now let me save it. Okay. It's okay now. As you can see, it's being animated. The road is being animated. Okay. The road is not actually moving. It's just a texture that we are moving. So if I change this 0.5, let's say I put like, let's say like 2. Let's see what we'll have. Minus 2. Let's see what we have. Now it's moving a lot faster. Okay. So but anyway, let's continue with what we had before. 0.5. If you want it, for example, as you can see, you see in the direction it is moving. Okay. If you want to change the direction, you simply remove this minus here. Okay, this minus sign here. So it will reverse the direction. All right, let's continue. Once again, here you can always use the controls, the that.grid controls, to rotate the car, or to, yes, it's better you rotate the car, so that it will match this the movement, the direction of the movement of the textures, because it's doing like this. It's acting like this because I have already done this thing. I have already tested it before coming to present it to you. Okay. So the next thing we are going to do now, because right now the wheels of the car is not moving in accordance. Okay. So the next thing we are going to do now is to animate these wheels. Okay. But before then, we have to first of all do some installation. Okay. We are going to install a framework called GSAP. I'm sure most of you know that framework by now. So we're going to use it to animate these wheels. Now, the first thing, what we have to do first of all is go to the command, to the command line app, or whatever it is called. This one I'm using git bash. Okay, so all we have to do now is to, for example, here it says press H to show help. So just press H. Okay, so it says press Q to quit, or press R to restart the server, but we are going with the Q. Okay, the server will stop. You see, the server has stopped. Okay, so if I refresh now, I will get an error. All right, so it says cannot reach this page because we have already stopped the server. Right now, what we have to do now is to install GSAP using npm. So we do that by simply going to here and type. Okay, first of all, let's go to GSAP, to their website and get it. So I just want to show you everything so that you see it for yourself. Okay. So now we are in their homepage. Sorry, in their website. So the says gsap.com docs v3 installation. Okay. So here is how we install it using npm. it says npm install GSAP. Okay, so I go over here, I type npm install GSAP, enter. So let me give it the time to install. I'll come back to you after it is done. All right, now we are done. Okay, so it says added one package, audited, and blah 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 blah, the blah. So where is this thing? Let me show you where it is. Okay, so we let's get okay in this where you see this static. Okay, you go to node modules. Okay, node modules, you see GSAP here. Okay, before now it's absent, it's not here, but now we have installed it, it is here. So this is where GSAP is. Okay, so this is the GSAP, all the whatever the framework that we are going to be needing. But anyway, we're simply going to be using the GSAP. Where is it? I think anyway, I don't need to waste my time here. Okay, please, let's go on, let's get it on immediately. So the first thing we have to do in our code editor is, first of all, as it says here, import whatever. We have to import what? GSAP. Okay, so we'll go on over there, then import. We'll say import GSAP from GSAP. Okay, then save. Okay, we are not going to get anything because we haven't yet started the server. So we go to the git bash, to git bash, then say npm run dev. So we are going to start another server. All right, so we have started another server. All right, so let me take this one off. Now, what do we do next? We have to get these wheels. Okay, but I want to show you something first, because this model was gotten from sketchfab.com. But once I downloaded the model, I didn't just load it into my what's it called, my project. I first of all loaded it into Blender and did some change, to, how do I put it? I had to change a few things. For example, these wheels. I'm not going to show you how I did it in this video. It's going to take a lot of time. Okay. These wheels, I separated them from the rest of the car, kind of because they all came to, kind of let me say they were glued together. So what I did was I separated them, then renamed them. Okay, so we are going to use those names that I gave to them in Blender. Okay, in Blender I mean Blender 3D. So we are going to use those names in 3JS to get them, then, or to target these wheels, then use GSAP to make them turn. Okay, it's not too difficult, please. But if you need a special tutorial on that, please feel free to let me know. All right, so let's continue. Let's get it on immediately. Now we'll go straight to the module, because we are not, you have to change something here. This idea of gltf.scene.scale.set, no, it is terrible. We have to change that now. Okay, so let me show you what I mean. Now what I mean is this: once we have loaded it, we don't need to continue calling it gltf.scene. So instead we say const model, okay, or const car if you want to go that way. It's depends on you. So const model will be gltf.scene. Okay, now what we have to do now is, wherever you see gltf.scene, you replace it with model. So let me do it right away. So this is what I mean. Okay, so instead of gltf.scene, you now have model, simply model. So now let me save. I go over there. You see, it's still working. It's still working correctly. All right. Now we'll use GSAP to get the, what's it called, the wheels, and be able to turn them around. So what we're going to do now is to take this one off. I don't think we need them again. So let me just delete them. Of course, you can simply wait. you can simply comment them out, but me, I want to, I will delete them entirely. I don't need them anymore. So, uh, first of all, please, something's very, very important. We don't know if GSAP was correctly imported. Okay, so in order to test that, to simply say console.log GSAP. All right, now I save, head over to the browser, then inspect. It says objects. Okay, all these things are all GSAP methods. Okay, all of these things you are seeing here. Don't mind this 3 dot color, forget about it. Okay, it doesn't really mean anything, at least as far as this project is concerned. So now let's go back to where we were. So we go under here, we will use a method called getObjectByName. Okay, remember, as I said in earlier, I used Blender to give those wheels, each of them I give them a name. For example, I used front wheels, front wheels 1, front wheels 2, back wheel 1, then back wheels, something of that nature. So we will first of all say const front wheel. So I want to take the front wheel. Okay, so front wheel, then front wheel will be model. So we have to go through the model. Okay, model dot get objects get objects by name. Okay, we'll get object by name. Then the name we are looking for is front uh, wheel. Front wheel. Oh, sorry, front wheels. Okay, sorry, I think I added s without knowing. So uh, anyway, let's continue. Now I have gotten this front wheel. Let me see if it's actually there. So I'll say console. Now I move over to the browser. I inspect. So let me see what I have over here. It says mesh. Okay. So animations, geometry is mesh true. So that's basically it. I don't need to talk too much about it. So I have gotten the front wheel. What I have to do now is to say GSAP dot to. Then what are we going to do is about this front wheel using GSAP. So we'll say front wheel, then dot rotation. So rotation, then we will give it this object. So this is where the rotation thing comes into play. Okay, so let me just copy and paste it here so that I will save time, please. So it says repeat is -1, which means repeat forever. Duration is 4 seconds, or the kind of 4 seconds per rotation. Then is none. Okay. There is something I wanted to do. I want to do that one last so that it will stick. So what we have to do now, because we are rotating this thing, but I haven't shown it on what axis is going to rotate. Okay. So we are going to rotate it on the x axis. So they will now give it its value. This time around, we'll use backticks. Okay. So say instead of the reason why I'm using backticks is because I don't want to concatenate. Okay, concatenation brings some kind of bugs and confusion. So concatenate means to join two, two strings together, and that is not what I want to do. Therefore, I use the string literal, or I mean the template literal, using the backticks, so that we can mix both strings and what's it called? Both strings and what's it called again? And variables together. Okay. So we to do that, to say plus equals, sorry, what am I doing? Plus equals, then a variable. What are we? The variable. What variable are we looking for? Is math dot pi times 10. Okay. So math.py, sorry, this math is incorrect. So math.py multiplied by 10. All right. So let's see if it is actually working. I save, head over. If there is an error, we are going to correct them. So I believe there is an error. Yeah, there is an error. So it says repeat. It doesn't understand what repeat is all about. So let me check. Let me see. Oh yes, I have to put a comma here to show to you that I have already ended that side. So because it's an object, okay. So yeah, it is gone. So let's see if there's any wheel that is moving. Unfortunately, none. Okay, let's continue. Let me see what is going. I will check what is going wrong. I'll get back to you shortly. So I have seen the error. Okay, the error is here. All of these things forms part of the same code. All right. So I'm not supposed to give this closing bracket here. So instead, I'm supposed to put it here. All right. So now let's see if it's actually working. Go over here. Yeah, it's working. Sorry, the tires are moving, but the wheel is not moving. Okay, is it called? I think the rim. The rim is not moving. Okay, so all of them is called the wheel. All of them are called the wheels. All of them joined together is called the wheel. So the rim is not moving while the tires are moving or are rotating. Please, not moving. They are rotating. Okay. Now I have to face this one. Okay, the rim. And I think I call them front wheels underscore one. Yeah. So what I have to do now is very, very simple. Just copy this. Okay. Copy it. Then, first of all, let's demarcate it. So animate the wheels. And okay. Now we go under here, still inside this model. Okay. Inside the model. Okay. So we go under here. Then let me paste it. Okay. I'm a little bit exhausted. Oh, what am I doing, please? I'm a little bit exhausted, so I'm kind of making some silly errors now, okay? So front wheel, no, please, not there. Front wheels underscore one. So let's see if this one is also working correctly or it will animate. So I save, head over to the browser. Fingers crossed. That's an error. Oh la la, inspect. Front wheel has already, okay. Yeah, that's correct. So front wheels, or let me just, okay, front wheels. Okay. Now I go over here. Okay, it's okay now. Hopefully no, it's not working. What's going on? Wow. All right, let's continue. I will find out and I will tell you what has gone wrong. Wow, silly mistakes. Of course, I'm already getting tired. So the mistakes is from GSAP to front wheel. So I was targeting this one, but since it's inside this function, then or object, then it cannot animate it because this hasn't been created as far as this function here is concerned. So and I change it to front wheel so it will match this. So let me just copy, then paste it here. Paste. I'm really getting tired. That is why. Let's see what we have. All right, you see, it's now working correctly. So I will do the same thing for the back wheels, okay? But I will not explain. I will just copy and paste to, to save time, please. Tada! So here they are, okay? So back wheels, models, and blah 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 blah. So it's basically what is here, but I have changed the name. So back wheels underscore one, then back wheels. In fact, I called it here back rims, so that's to differentiate between back wheels and back rims, so that it will be clear to you. Okay, now let's see. It is working, but the road is moving fast while the wheels are turning slowly. Doesn't make any sense. So we have to correct that immediately. The where we are going to do that is where it says duration. It says 4 seconds per rotation. So 4 seconds per rotation is slow. So in order to correct that, we first of all make a const called speed. Okay. So let's let okay const speed is, let's say, okay, let's use 4. All right. Now what I have to do now is const, please, const speed. So copy the speed. I copy it. You go down wherever you see where is it? Wherever you see duration, you remove the 4 and paste speed. Okay. All right. So let me save and see what we have. Okay, it's working. So what we have done now is we are going to just change the speed once and for all. So we are going with the speed of I use in my own project I use 0.5. So let's save. Let's see what we have. All right, you see, it's now moving in tandem with the road. Okay, so basically here comes the end of our project, but we are not yet at the end, at the tail end. You can remove this. Now, in the next in the next video, what we are going to do is really simple. But to tell you what we are going to do, or to show you what we are going to do, now, if you refresh, you see, it takes some time before the car appears. The road will have appeared, then it's animating already, but the car hasn't appeared, which is weird. It's not, it doesn't look good. Therefore, we have to look for a way to cover the screen, okay? Just as you saw in the intro, where we saw loading screen. So we have to cover the whole screen and make sure that it is only when all the models and the textures have loaded and are animating properly that the overlay will move away or disappear, then enabling the viewer to see what is going on in the scene. Okay, because right now it is not good. It's not good this way. It doesn't look good. So that will be the topic of our next video. So thank you so much for sticking with me till this time. It is true that I'm already tired. I have my day job. Once I come back home, then I will have to start creating these videos. Okay, it takes a whole from me to do so. Please like the video to encourage me. Share it to 10 people, please. This I I am begging you, please help me help you. Thank you so much. I would love to see you. So I am longing to see you next time, or I'm longing to meet you next time, please. Goodbye.